Tony Marsh has just been appointed, and for you, how will that change how you work with Police Crime Commissioner and the Chief Constable? How will that change for you? Will it change, or?
Well, the Police and Crime Commissioner is a new concept to policing, and we're only just getting used to the working arrangements in place with Mr. Simon Hayes. But so far, so good. He's another individual that we can go to, and he's a very powerful office, the office of the PCC. So those relationships are building. But the Chief Constable is just going to be business as usual. Alex Marshall moved on. We had a very good working relationship with Alex Marshall. We don't always agree, but we got business done and we challenged appropriately. And Andy Marsh, as our Deputy Chief Constable, we've had a very close working relationship with him, and hopefully that will continue. So fingers crossed for a good working relationship with the Police Federation.
So you said Andy Marsh is deputy. He's done it all before, but he hasn't been the front man of it. Do you think he's the right man to fill the footsteps of Alex then?
I do. I think he's a very capable and competent individual. I call him the thinking man because he's very thoughtful in his responses, and he's worked in the background for a long time, and that's not uncommon to the role of a Deputy Chief Constable. How I describe the role of the deputy is they manage the engine room. They make sure that everything's working as smoothly as possible, but they're not necessarily the figurehead of the organisation. That's the Chief Constable. And I think now that Mr. Marsh is moving out of the shadow of Mr. Marshall, I think he will show and demonstrate that he's going to be a very effective Chief Constable, and we're really looking forward to working with him.
Yeah, on the other side of things, in the Police and Crime panel, last Friday we saw Andy Marsh say he needed to please the Constabulary, he needed to please the panel, and he needed to please the Crime Commissioner. How do you think he'll go about that? Do you think it's quite a hard thing to do, performance, to stick to what he's doing and cut costs at the same time? Well,
it's all new because the PCC is a new role, and the PCC is the Chief Constable's boss. Before the PCC was elected, the Chief Constable's boss was the Home Secretary, so we've now got a local element brought in. I think the relationship between the PCC and the Chief Constable is a really important one, because what the Chief Constable will be trying to achieve is to manage the PCC's crime plan, whereas before it was the constabularies, now it's the PCC's. It's all about allowing the public to speak. I think Andy Marsh has got the skills and ability to please all of his masters, and let's not forget the public. We've got to make sure that the public have confidence in policing. I think Andy Marsh is a credible Chief Constable, and look forward to seeing what he's going to do in the future.
Do you feel that your role as chairman will change at all with the role of commissioner coming in, or?
No, I think the Federation are sort of on the sidelines of policing. What our focus is to ensure that our members, who are the rank and file police officers, that their voice is heard, that their welfare is paramount in everything that we do, their terms and conditions are catered for, but also our role is about ensuring the efficiency of the service. So to make sure that if money is being spent, we will challenge, as we would expect the public to do, whether we think that that's the right thing that constabulary should be spending money on. So I don't think our role will change. It's always different when we get a new boss in charge. But we've worked with Andy Marsh a long time as deputy. I've got no doubt that relationship will continue. And we must appreciate, from the Federation's point of view, a good working relationship with the Chief Constable and the PCC should not be misinterpreted as a cosy relationship, because we will challenge very strongly, legally if we need to, if we think the constabulary have done things not in the interest of our members. And both Mr. Hayes and Mr. Marsh appreciate that, so fingers crossed for a good working relationship.
And were you sad to see Alex go?
Yeah, it's always a shame when a Chief Constable, especially somebody you've worked very closely with, moves on. I think what is interesting for us is Alex Marshall is taking, for me, what is one of the most influential policing jobs in the country. He's going to be the Chief Executive Officer of the College of Policing. I think that's a really important role, and he's already been in touch. He wants to maintain contact as he takes on that role, and I look forward to continuing working with him, albeit in a different way.